Couple decent scalps today on the 1 hour euro dollar, and somebody called out the low from the other day. So that was the entry, the 13 at the 13 here for a no-brainer entry. I would have actually bought on the way down there on these. Well, there's a lonely wick here. That was a really good scalp. You can kind of, if you drill down here, you can see it. Let me just delete the objects and take it back to normal looking. All right, so here's the deal. It was kind of rambunctious today, but that first entry here, which this is about 6 o'clock in the morning here, and the price piles into this wonderfully square region, just obvious as can be. This is the lonely wick here, and we've got this so-called support area. And this is the first entry window. And the second one, you're going to have to load the wagon here more than you did on that first one, because this has the very deep shelf on the 1 hour. And of course, even more tickets would be down here. So there's 3 banks, progressive entry. Because this rock bottom price here is violated, right? If somebody has a stop there on that fractal, they've been kicked out. Right, so you're kind of buying their kick out. And, this 1 hour chart. So when this is the scalp into the last known low, it's just kind of a stair step structural thing. I'm going to take this as a low, and I'm also going to take this as the time stamp low, right? This is the time pivot. So I know this is a time low, and then here, like a little rally into what we have to assume is a doji becoming a top there. Now they overshoot the runway. That's why the people that are selling on the tippy tops up here in this window is the big seller's window, right? And it's better seller's window than now this is a broad seller's window, so you have to put sell limits from here all the way to there, but you know that your deeper order, your bigger tickets have to rest on top of this 2 hour top. And that's why, even though it does kind of keep going up, boy, when it comes back into this area here and it crushes it, forget about it, right? So we're just going to take a look at the that region and see that as you're marching up this beautiful trend, you've got your first place to draw a trend line. People are getting in the triangle, the breakout. It's wonderful. A little opening of U.S. markets, or whatever this kickback is. You're always trying to buy that wedge. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tickets in a tight pocket here, and you're buying new lows because people have stops there. Don't forget, they got on the train here. The trend traders got on the train here, but then wah, wah, wah. Just like they go along here and, stop you out. Or they sell here and stop you out. If you sold on the clock here, you sell here, you put in your stop, they stop you out, they rip it back. Then you buy here, you put in your stop, you figure here's safe. No, that's actually where people are buying. Wrong again. Here, this is where people are buying. Your stop's back here. So I'm looking for one fatal move north, and we banked. We're now up $36,000. And 90. Totally flat, waiting for them to come back, but they ain't coming back. So we're going to finish it off the week at 38. Finally, we had $2,000 this morning on all this psychosis. And of course, you got to have those 5 pip winners built into the bank, right? Because if you can't cash out. Like if you buy this, you've got to be able to cash out to here, because that's easy money, right? That whole wick in 1 hour, you just made how many pips? Now, granted, after it stalls there, I think everybody that trades hammers is like, yeah, 1 hour hammer underneath the floor. Gee, it could go down more. It could, and it did. It did after that. But when you look at it on the 15, you can see, oh, it's just, in other words, this is since this is where we crushed into, sellers are supposed to come back here on confirmation and take it down. But no, it has to engulf, because this is so hard down, and there's too many order imbalance now. There's too many people long, the smart money or whatever. Of course, smart money is not too smart if they don't cash out here. And who's cashing out there? People that think this is the pivot. And they just are selling because it's going up. They're like, oh, down, let's sell the first rally. Don't measure it. Don't get out a fucking fib tool. It's up, sell. Here you buy. Or you bought this plunge underneath it here. You just load it up here. Like this is the maximum load. Here is a decent load, and it paid off. And then we're gonna go lower. And then when we get down to rock bottom, so if you were to martingale into this, you can only see how you only have to get to here on the bottom ticket, and you're up. You write the script like that. So I wrote some scripts for the Yolanda account right now, which is up $480 right now. So it's just dumbass. I had to go up to a 7 to 10Ks because I wanted to make it, be able to get it in these psychotic pairs. I would never want to babysit the drama in these pairs that run like 100 pips swing. And I got the different spacing. I got a soft target. So it's really complicated, but it's making money because it's just a constant coming back with something different. So it's just based on making money was really what it's based on. So it's not based on Fibonacci, although maybe the ratios of risk could be Fibonacci if that's what makes you feel better. It's all what you can handle psychologically, right? So if you want to see, moving averages, go for it. Not on my watch. I mean, no, I could do it and I could explain it, but it's just not worth it. You're fighting reality, You're just fighting reality. So obviously, this was the place to sell today for this kickback to here. I think that was a decent scalp. I don't know if they can pull it all the way back down again. I'm going to say that as we close out the week here, in the euro dollar, and look where the Swiss franc's ready to just fall through the floor into the close. Look at this thing. Oh my God. What's going on here? So the same reaction when the news comes out. This bottom becomes a top. You could have traded this thing. This floor, and it never made it back to here. And look at it, I'm starting to buy below here though. But then, of course, that's when we're cashing out of our, if the euro makes it right to near 12, everybody's getting out around 12. It's only got to go up 20. It was 20 pips from the border, so of the 12. So you get to the 12, this thing's going to go through the floor. But then the buyers come in on this. So it's just this constant revolving door of bullshit. And if you have just buy onlys and you size them properly, yeah, right now you'd be putting buy limit banks in here. Starting 50 pips down all the way down for the month. Just lay in 150K. 150 tickets. Just put them in different stops, different take profits. Just write one big ass script. Hit the button once a week. It lasts for a month, those orders. Go to each currency pair. You're putting in 1 to 20. The last ticket's a 20K, and you could put a tight stop on that. I wrote one that's actually got them intermingled. So once you get up to 20 tickets, now you can create complex trap zones so that, okay, it's going to take something off of this thing. Even if it blows out the whole bank, it's going to ricochet like a pinball inside. You're expecting some kind of retracement in price in some array. Now, if you can afford it, you just keep laying in different designs and waiting for the market to capture. Because if the market spikes up and does this wackadoodle stuff here on the 4 hour, I don't see the problem of like at any moment, we could just start putting in sell limits and buy limits and whatever fills. And go with that, you know, and it's just getting snagged. You drop sell limits above here, and they're running all week long, and they get filled, and it's crazy. Look at how much money you would have made, right? Here, you're going to get stopped out maybe, but here you've got to have some clue about this, what that means to what could happen. And this right now, if we fall down on that thing, forget about it. The euro's going to close up at the highs of the week, and this thing could just take out, but I'm a buyer below that, so, but I'm not. But if I was going to trade this, I'm just going to load up on the euro dollar because it's just it's not the spread's tighter. Sure, you could do some, you know, here you're going to say that when we come to this floor here that we've reached that run on the 4 hour, right? You come up into this bottom pretty damn close. Never made it to this bottom, and you know, this is the top become a bottom, so this is major support. Everybody had a trend line here, I'm sure, or a moving average. Trend line's better, right? And wow, look at this big vacuum forming below, and how do we get down that? Well, we tumble down that thing. We have our first bottom become a top. So if you miss the trade, you're waiting for the retracement into here. Or you're going to just pull the trigger because it's up. See, it's up a little bit. Sell. And if it's like right at this point, your reason for taking this trade would make sense if you said, "Oh, you know, it's slightly going up. Look at that. Ain't that cute?" But you know, God, there's got to be stops here. I wonder if I should put a sell stop here and just go with these bozos on the 4 hour. Or put a buy stop and start building a hedge when the market gets very, very quiet underneath the floor. This is supposed to be rejected. The market's supposed to come back up, right? This top becomes a bottom, but there's still a wick in there, right? But then, holy shit, then they're going to come run it up and go hunt this guy. It's just hunt to hunt. And here, well, you know what? Here, when you come flying back into this thing, come on. Never makes it to here. But we ever make it back above there, but it could just be like, okay, you scalp to here, it tanks. You scalp to here. I mean, I'm quite happy just to trade 25 to 50 pip bounces. I don't care about the end game so much because I don't really care where it's going. If I can get in here in this super deep 50 pip window, getting here at the 50, yeah, this is going to be your obvious first exit. Even though it well surpasses that. And this is supposed to be where all the sellers are going to come in. Yeah, they come in for a little bit, pull it back. Only to pull it back here. And then you're off to the races. So pretty bombastic stuff. And of course, if you can pull 50 pips out of that, or even 25, look at how fast this 25 pips you made here. You buy just before we're going to breach into this new hole here that everybody's going, holy shit, this top, and of course this big vault here. We never make it to here. It probably has more to do with this last support for the people that went hog long here and got crushed. This is their revolving door. That's why this is a good revolving door point. And of course, it gets choppy. People take advantage of these little baby moves. This is the 4 hour chart. So somebody in the 1 hour chart could take advantage of like, oh, look at that little stop, you know, little bear stop hunt. Sell limits there, and you're actually trying to get in before the drama. So this is a doji. Here comes the drama. And there's really that only one rally to sell there. And this just big short squeeze was immense. Of course, you know, there's probably a triple divergence here or some crap on our side, but that wouldn't matter. It's just about, wow, look at them just it's more about the compression on the top. The highs keep getting lower. There's only one trap trade here for the robot that's doing a trailing buy limit strategy. So if you're just going to trail your system and say, oh, I'm going to just buy on stops now that we're down. You got trapped here, but these you did not. So you got 12 hours of not taking that out, and then This is just too much under pressure. Besides, you come into the buying window, right? This is why you're seeing this reverse here. This is the first entry. This is the support, right? This is where everything started before the walk up. And here you got the guys with buy limits streamed all the way to here. They load up. They're buying this undercut. Then bam. Plus you have these people that are running money management. They're bears looking for this thing to just cave in. But they have to run protection. So everybody's running stops in some regard. It's just like, how are you going to trade a 100 pip swing, or are you going to trade the 25 pip burst, or are you going to trade the 25 pip swing? And like, how are you going to space out the tickets, and then what are you going to get out? When you see you're in the seller's window, whether you like your target or not, equity-wise, you may not have a choice but to get out. So to keep rinsing and repeating, you know, it's not the kind of market that you can just get in and let it go, I suppose. Somebody's talking about crude oil today. You know, I looked at the crude oil chart on this thing. It looks untradeable to me. It's just too quiet. You have to trade so big in there to make money. You probably have to trade the 1 hour chart. And if you're trading the CME, I don't even know what that costs. But I would just, you know, this is like gold. Why rewrite all these scripts for gold? You know, I could go trade the yen. Like if I want to catch this falling knife here on the yen, I just go over there to trade the yen. I can't imagine having to rearrange my life. Although I could show you the trades that probably look decent. They look just like this. I mean, this is the amazing 100 pip, you know, retracement into the floor here. The obvious, you know, right at the round number. Of course, they stop under this poor guy right here. So this is a really support and resistance market, is dollar yen. It's a serious support and resistance game. So this is about the, you know, how long do you want to be in the trade? Because, you know, look at this psycho pullback. Like if you're sitting here when this happens, or you suspect that the market is going to go down because somebody sold into this new high, right? Imagine some guys like, dude, we're selling into that. Because people are going, wow, it's going up. Yes, it's going up, and you just got trapped. You've just been trapped. And actually, you have a chance here to kind of go, oh, you know what? We could get in here and failure swing, or start running your sell stops. Here's an easy one. People talk about, well, you should do it like this because of that. Right? You should do a trading thing because what is your you know, your system saying? Here, you know, if you're willing to buy this plunge, this is happening so vicious. There are people short this market because of this is the kind of trapping people. This is the high of the week though, so people are like, oh my god, this is the first breakout, and here they made money. In other words, they had a tighter entry. A buy stop here would make sense, right? Because you'd be like, oh, look, we're getting in. But then if that's true, then a buy stop down here makes even more sense, and a buy stop here makes the most sense ever, right? So as the market's going down, if you want to get long, just keep doing a cancel replace on your 4 hour thing. So you just have a button you press every 4 hours, and every 4 hours it's down, you have to press a bigger button, or one that has 2 tickets now. You have the original ticket and a next ticket. And if it's a small bar, you have a small bar button you'd press to get in with a tighter stop and a wider exit maybe. It's designed for a certain scenario. But that's a pure stop entry system. And then, you know, you could... Here, I want to drop some orders here. I see the market's tanking a little bit. I want to get long something into the weekend on this demo account here. Okay, so here I'm going to get into this euro with this crazy tight 2 pips deep. So I ran this today when the market was crashing, and then I put this one in too. So 8 hours When we're coming down here, I'm dropping that, so it's about yay deep. So when the market was crashing here, I'm just frantically dropping that in front. We pick up this psycho run. And that's the trade, really. And of course, come above here, seller's window galore. People sell, 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 drift, come back a little bit. Now this is the top, become a bottom, right? So I got out here. This is as good as it got. We never made it to the 75. I suspect we could make it there maybe by the end of the day, or maybe by next week, or maybe not. So we could go flat at the end here. We could take everything off the table. I just got filled on something apparently for my recent drop. So I've been dropping that on the tablet too, and I have a different version on the tablet. I've been trying to soften the stop. Here is the big weeklies, but I'm not going to put those in because I'm not in that mode. And we'll take a look at the Oanda account here. So this is kind of the end of the day now. And I see I'm up on this trade, and this is a sell limits I plopped in the market. So I wrote some, I didn't write the sell side, but I've got some bizarre scripts here. Daily, big tickets in here. I got the 7 to 10K, which is a whole unique, different, I think that lasts for a week too. So here I could see, I could run it here. Let me see. On the sell side, of course, unfortunately in the United States, I can't really go both directions here, so I'd have to cash out. Let me see if I'm up on anything here. I'm just going to hit the cash out button and see if any margin goes away. Okay. Oh, I got out something. Okay, great. So now I can go either direction. I'm going to put these monsters in here for the pullback. So they look like this. The new and improved script. Now that's a big monster script because it's getting in like 7, 8, 9, 10K. It can coexist with this one here. And I'm going to put this another weekly, the original weekly. I think I actually fine-tuned that a little bit. So those two, I have not duplicated any sizing there. So those could fill, those last for a week. Literally. So we don't even have, when the market opens, if it rockets up, I'm a seller. If it rockets down, I'm a buyer. We're caught in a doji here. We're stepping through the window here also. On the Australia versus CAD here, I mean, the scalpers have definitely made a nice clean 25 pips off of this top. They pulled it back, cashed out. Here comes the trend traders that buy in pullbacks every, what is this, every day? Every day. So another great daily entry, just slightly back we buy. Buy with a tighter stop. And looking for it to crush up, which, a little bit of a bounce here, but we could also put our sell limits here on the daily. The daily is very trustworthy. Look how they take it all the way down to this deep basement level, but I think I would be a buyer here, and I'm willing to buy all the way down to here, and beyond here I'd get in a little heavier, but I don't know if you're ever going to make it down there, you know. But this is going to be ripe for the pickings one day. Of course, this was the Williams fractal that people bought and claimed, look at it, works. Wonderful. But, you know, hopefully you got long down here. You know, this is when the buy stop bot, there should be a way to build a buy stop bot. Jesus, fuck. People are trying to build these moving average crossover system. It's so harebrained. Some guy in the Discord, I saw him post a picture of his entry. He literally got in when the moving average crossed over. He literally got in there. It was like, somebody should say, you know, somebody should do an intervention there. It's like a tent city for trade systems. But man, I remember those days. Let's go to the moving average crossover. Yeah, we'll just keep tightening it up. I say make it the 1 crosses the 2. If you're gonna do moving average crossover, hey, listen, the 1 cross the 3. Let's get the fuck in. What are you waiting for, this lag shit? Well, you know, I want to make sure it's really in an uptrend first. I'm a trend trader, you know. Okay, I understand. So, Waiting for it to pull back into my limits here. You don't understand, man. Look at the weekly. Look at this thing just pounding north on the euro. So I'm selling up into that. I wish I wrote the sell side of that, but I'm going to do it again because I'll make sure this is there in the morning. Okay. When we come into Sunday, I want those tickets to be there in case we find ourselves in a gap up position or something. Or we just go rocket into the close here. I want to get short again. So this has been very funny because we have two shaved candles on the weekly. Shaved candle here, shaved inverted hammer here. Hammer to inverted hammer. I'm not going to worry about the opening to call that a hammer. Because that's an inverted. That is a turn on a dime. In a 75 pip window. And is it going to be that clean? Could be. You know, Euro's very clean. Up, down, up. Start taking out those stops. Take out the Williams fractal. People go long. Yeah, they're right. If they could held through that. The Williams fractal guys that sell here, they got obliterated. They sold this breakout down there. What's going lower? Can't you see? Don't have to explain everything. We're trend traders, son. We sell here and we just hold down. Trailer stop. Okay, we trailer stop to here. We made a few pips. Of course, not really, because if you got in with a stop and got out with a stop, you didn't make any money, right? You lost. If you sell on a stop here and you run your protection here, it's going to go down. It's going to go down. I'm waiting for confirmation. It's up, and then as soon as I see that tail wick, that's what I do. I get in, put a stop there, and then we put a stop here. It's crazy. We lost money. Oh, shit. It went down, though. How's that work again? You know, so you can't really launch some stop bot that's going to buy this without regard to this. Sure, you could have a stop bot that comes in on a small thing. It puts a sell stop here and a buy stop here, and it goes like cashing out. But you got to be aware of this, or you got mental issues. If you can't see this as unfair, anything below here is unfair. You're mentally, you don't understand what the last gasp of a market is. This is a different last gasp up here now, isn't it? Now this is the trend traders. Very tight sell limit entry if you're a trend trader, because you really want to sell into the long-term trend. Just like you want to buy 1 week down into the long-term trend. So if you were to buy, it would have been here, and structurally you could have made the argument that this top becomes a bottom. Now I know it's a clean pattern, and it's going to get not going to be clean anymore. It's going to get all choppy again. So once we get this possible to here, it's going to come back, you know, plenty of 50 pip. You can trade very nicely in here, both directions. Plenty of pips to be made. Just double the size. Just getting bigger, that's all. It's not that hard. Okay, so New Zealand, I want to cash out of some of this stuff. I'm doing so good. I'm up 480 bucks here without really trying. Let's see. My biggest winner right now is this euro to the pound. I still believe in that trade. I don't know. It just looks like a great place to buy, so I'm going to leave that on. New Zealand cat, I have no idea. I have no idea on the pound I like. And short the New Zealand Swiss, I don't even understand that pair. I think somebody was long that thing, and I thought, well, then I'll definitely sell. One of the guys on Discord said that they went long, and I go, oh, it sounds like a swing trade to me. Getting my swing trade signals from the calls inside of that system. Look at the chart here. So here we're coming back to kind of pull back here, maybe a little retest of the highs before the close. Getting kind of late in the day. We could just stall out here. It's always good to cash out when you're in the other person's entry window. So if I'm long, I definitely want to cash out up here, and if I'm short, I want to get out You know, when I see that we're down here, I'm like, holy shit. I mean, the dream is it's going to keep tanking through there. But you can see you close underneath. And people are like, well, are we going to keep going down? It looks like not. And then rips through this. Now, this is where I buy very heavily right here. Because I'm like, okay, we are going to come to here now. You just get that feeling when it's down this hard. This wick is that bold. And, of course, another retest. So never underestimate the ability for the market to keep retesting. Never a dull moment. Let me put on another order here. So this is one I really do like. 8 hours. It's very low maintenance. I'm in $13 a margin, so very, very tame. It's not. It's in the end of the week. Might get one little run up here, you know, but I'm expecting sell-offs. I'm expecting rallies. You know, the 4-hour chart's going to be less work. You could probably run a couple 4-hour charts, but look at how the 4-hour chart is so rambunctious here that unless you're willing to buy this low, these all would have made money. You're going to buy this low, this low, this low, and the most you're going to buy is right there. The next obvious place to buy is the end of the FOMC wick, which I don't think anybody thought we were going to make it back there. But of course, you could have there could be a Fibonacci handle here, and you got a buy limit, right? So if you line up all the fibs possible too, if you do trade Fibonacci's, if you find yourself in this Fibonacci kaleidoscope, then just pick out all the fibs. Don't be stingy. See, I see a 618 here. I see one here. I see one here. Yeah. Here's a top become a bottom. Okay, yeah. Put about 10 orders in, man. Okay, we're up 67 cents. That's what I'm talking about. So I think we could have bought some at the market there. Yeah, so that's the week, man. I mean, we can make $2,000 a week now, right? And people would say, oh, it's just so boring. No, I tell you, when the market presents itself, I would trade the British pound, I think. You know, if I was to kind of flip to the pound here and just focus on the pound. I do like to do arbitrage, though, between brokers, so it doesn't let me. Here's the British pound. Obviously, we would put in this ticket here, so it looks like this. All week long, this is the big fat iceberg I wrote. So if you came in, you know, obviously that's the best trade I've seen in a while. Master stop on that, I must say, a little not the best. Look at that thing, man. Market comes down there. Like, are you gonna? You tell me that's not a good place to get in? 40 pips deep next week. I would look for a bum rush to the door here. So here, same thing, all week long. And I think I had it in there. Look at this is the weekly. What happened? Market's closed. There you go. Same tickets. See. So this will be here on. I must have dropped that last Friday actually, so that's why. I'm not sure. Oh, maybe that's set to. Well, it's supposed to be a week. I'm pretty sure I set it to a week, so I don't want to have to keep putting these tickets in. I'm up 97 cents on this Euro trade. It's killing me. Yeah, it's a week. Oh, you know what? That first one was the 4-hour version, so all I did was change the time. My bad. As the kids say, my bad. I ran over your kid. Oh, my bad. Here, 25 pips apart for a week. Nice, right? Once again here. I like this all week long. Here. Oh, this is going to be brutal. So here, let's put in the... Sure, that's easy. Look at that. We're probably going to go through the floor here. Right on close, we could just go rocketing down. Anybody ever try to buy it like this thing right here now? I've tried to buy this. This is why I decided, you know what, I'm just going to put limits in. Why am I killing myself? Here, 8 hours. So into the close. Beautiful scalp into new lows. Now there should be a weekly version of that. So it's best to write these scripts when the market's open. You can imagine the trade. File save as. Just call it weekly. So take a script, put multiple time frames on it. It's the easiest way to come up with another plan. W1 is going to be the expiration now. And this will be good all week. Good till canceled, kind of. So the good to canceled thing, this is the thing when I was trading commodities. I don't know, this guy's trading crude oil in the commodities market. I mean, I don't know. That sounds brutal. It's like, what, $12? How much is it a tick? Probably nasty. Can't imagine. I said, this is not good. This is a hard stop, so this needs to be rewritten. It's very liberal stop, so what I'm going to do is I'll make this 450. Recompile. I'll say, well, I take that back. Let me make it a quarter chunks. So 475 and 450. Well, it's your classic. So we're going to put about I'll go 425. That last ticket is very close to getting stopped out on the rack. So I can change actually the entry a little bit, move it up a little bit away from that. I want to retain that whole thing. But 425 stop. Right, so you have to do the math on all these tickets if you care, and then compile that. And I would just have to know in my mind's eye. I mean, kind of keep track of these things, print them out, I suppose, keep a notebook and all that shit. That's what you're supposed to do. But I think I'm just doing this like, oh, you know what, that looks good, boom, 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 because I'm trading so many tickets I don't really care. I traded purely on the market, purely on limit orders this morning. As the market crashed down, I must say I got into the majority of the position on the first bounce into that fold. So in this move here, what I did was when we slammed down this morning, I said, well, I want to get in below 50, right? I knew that, and of course, so we did this really fast crush down. This first dead cat bounce there, you kind of had to get out, but I had enough dry powder to buy that last smash down, and now breakout. Scalpers pulled it back off that. We still got at least over 2 hours left in the market. So 3 o'clock, and then we have 4 o'clock, stocks close, and then it could go crazy. It's our stall out here. But it looks like we're poised to, itching to take out the weekly highs. Now this is a big deal, and if we do take out the weekly highs, I suppose we'll be crushing north, and it's been quite the wackadoodle ride there because of this big pullback. Big slam. That's a tremendous move. So 100 pips. Crazy move there. So 75 pips. 25 pips inside. So inside there's 25 pips up and down, up and down. We get quiet, it runs to here, runs back to here, runs to there. The monthly people are like, holy shit. Now this is supposed to be another reason why I wouldn't even try to stand in front of this structure problem is that this is supposed to be a bottom becoming a top. Do you really think that's going to happen now? It kind of happened back here, and of course here you'd have to be at an angle for that. Wow, I don't know. I think they lowered interest rates here. You could make these arguments. We're just going to crush. And you just wonder, like, how is your algo going to treat that? Your daily algo. I guess you're going to, you're about to step through the window there on the north side. clear off this stuff here. So I'm definitely selling if we take out the high of the month. We've taken out the high last month. So this is the top become a bottom. It's the middle of the month here. And this is all the confirmation I need. Is this double top in time becomes in a 50 pip window. Becomes a rollover point, roll reversal. There's a Bruce Jenner entry there. This bottom does become a top, kind of. Well, this bottom becomes a top here, but you know this is a whole different kind of trade. People are like, you know what? The range traders like, dude, every day. People are making so much money. You might be short from here, and you're like, yeah, I got a target down here, but every day there are people, samurai traders, right? Samurai optometrist. Look at this. Are you kidding me? Then it gets very, very quiet. People are like, uh-oh. Then it comes after this. People buy that. They dump. It comes after these doubles. And people are like, well, for the love of Pete. Oh, it's a deep discount. Wow. Loading up down here. First blast, and then people wondered why this was such a harsh move. Because it's clearing out all those stops in just a smash. Because these stops, they're all gone. Those are all gone. All that's left on the table is that. Now all we have is this to hunt down. Pop to the 12. Come in with limits 25 to 50 pips deep. Depending on what's going on, you know. Otherwise, it's going to be sell limits up here. Like, if you haven't got on the long train, you can get on the short train. Top of the hour in 15 minutes here, so this could be a bum rush into the close. But I'm slightly long. I'm up $3 a half, you know, and I did not really, you know, I didn't want to sit here, and it was very hard to unravel the position. So when we were up above, or 68, I got out, 69. Getting out, and that's when I wanted to rewrite this to have a super long-lasting script in here. So here's a weekly. So I just rewrote the weekly. I'm going to put that in. It's got better math to it. Here, once again, I'm going to do the same thing. So we can come into Sunday with these psychotic orders. Instead of 8 hours, going to be here. About 15 pips. So very aggressive. Same thing on the pound. Did I already put it in there? I'll do it again. We'll double the mistake. There you go. All week long. This was Frank all week long. So if Sunday we're tanking into this, and I got a soft stop on that now. All right, we're stepping forward. We pulled back on the 1 hour. We kind of poised, set up for a assault to the north. The confirmation traders are coming in. We broke out. We pulled back. The scalpers might be done selling it. Let's go look for this. So we're looking at this now. Let me just go for a new template here. Okay. I just refreshed that. Okay, so we pulled back to this top, and we kind of stop hunted the people here, and we never made it back to here quite a bit, but we, you know, this was the big scalpers window to sell, and of course, are we coming, is that like the last price pulse for them? Are we going to try to take out the high of the day by the end of the day, and then, you know, sometimes you'll see it crush up at the end maybe because there's nothing up there. It goes back quite a bit of time. So keeping the scale fixed and then adjusting your time is really the key. So what you want to do is you got the scale like yay, and then we don't really care about down there. So go right to the weekly. Oh, I guess I fucked that up here. Yeah, well, let's fix the scale in this mode easier, I think. Okay, so here is And look at how this thing's been just melting down. I mean, you really think this trend can keep going down? Wow. We're going to challenge this line in the sand. Be careful about selling there. I think the better sell is going to be in this window here. You know, for the psycho where everybody's freaking out. Certainly in the weekly, it's going to be this slot up here. That's miles away at the moment. So the scalper's view of the trap traders, people trading long range breakouts here, you know, their view is that the deeper the high, so this one little hump here, not even a Williams fractal, just a kind of attempted breakout. And it goes to hell after that, you know. But once again, this is still in history, you know. When the market comes to here, the sellers come in and they make a ton off of that. You came into Sunday, you sold it, you come back to Sunday. I'm going to say Friday to Friday trade. Friday sell, Friday buy. Unbelievable. And you are back to where you started. What does your algo think of that move? That's just pure, I guess you call it price action. You just call it, well, you know what? People are like rolling this over apparently. Look at this market. My God, man. So yeah, this is going to be the contention. Are we going to find sellers here? And then we're going to keep going down this trend line perfectly, come to the other side of the channel. I'm sure people have been channel trading this. If they are channel traders, you know, they're like, oh shit, every time it comes down here. I mean, but then there's people that are like me are just going to say, I'm buying because it's this cheap. So we're both right. Some people like to see a trend line. What can I tell you? I'm just buying because it's down here. It's deep discount. Like when it takes this low out, I'm just a buyer. You may have a channel, but I'm getting the entry that's like my trade plan's built in. Whereas the channel traders are like, well, where do we get in? What, at the market here? What do you place a stop? Oh, 2% of ATR. Of my ex-wife's broken car. So, and the trend traders like, yeah, this bottom became a top. We got in here. Like, yeah, but at some point, even these rallies, you know, if you'd have sold above that in this chamber, and you would have just reaped all that. But now it looks like, wow, we could really go north hard. It could be a hard ride. On the monthly, it's like, wow. They've been beating the shit out of this euro. And here's the deepest price on here. It's right here. That spot. And boy, when they tag that, they never make it to here, though. Hell of an effort. Never make it to here. Not that you can't go here now. But yeah, this is supposed to be where the sellers come in on the monthly. It's the end of the month. Like it or not, it's the end of the month, and these guys are supposed to come in here right at the trend line. Maybe they can pull it down for 50 pips into next week, but I'd be pretty scared because the stops are just stacking up for this thing. All those, just going to clean house on that this year. Into the Trump election. The Dow will just melt down. I think most people are going to get out this big monster pivot where you got the doji at this 100-yard line. Anyways, it's all possible. Anything's possible, I suppose. Only up $1 now. Not too crazy about this trade. Kind of energy's out of the market here. We're kind of just waffling around. Pretty light. Most of the money was made earlier, frantically pressing the button in the coffee shop of horror. Another Starbucks. Well, at least they got comfy chairs there. But they keep it ice cold in there, I think. It's either to not overheat the laptops or I don't know what's going on there. So we never made this, but if you settled for this window, wow, are you feeling the swing trade? Look at that. Oh. Yeah, the trend traders. Low noise on this monthly chart. Very low noise. Not a lot of trades. There's a big triple bottom down here. This is what makes it tough. Cruising along like this, and all of a sudden, whoa. The hell was that? Not a lot of entries either for breakout trades here, I don't think. Maybe here, buy stop. Oh boy, look at this thing just creeping north. So yeah, I'm going to have to put sell limits up here now, write a more elaborate sell side. There should be major resistance anywhere above us. It's all scattered all throughout depending how we come into Sunday night. Dollar Swiss recovering, but looks like it's teetering. Teeter City. Gold's climbing up my channel, my blue channel. It's creeping north. Keeps breaking out. This is I'm just using my crossover point is like this. You got to break that, clear it, pull back, clear it. So it's a liberal kind of top become a bottom. It's just crossover instead of moving average crossover. It's trendline crossover. Right, where's the crossover at here? Crossover, pull back, get in here at the bottom of the channel. Until we break out of the channel, but gold looks destined for at least up in here, I'm going to say, but who isn't selling up there once again? I think everybody's onto the same page there. Everybody's going to be doing the same thing anyways, hopefully. You know when it's time to get out. Especially this ranging stuff. I mean, crude oil looks like a ranging market. So crude oil, you'd have to put your buy limits at the, without looking at the chart, I can already say, have enough money so that you can buy the new lows and sell new highs on the daily for the swing trades. And then, of course, maybe you have to go to the 1 hour chart, look for a small delta, small flag, build a position in there, and hopefully, I don't know what they're charging for commissions, but, you know, that's another problem, the commissions. So, and each tick in crude, I don't know why you should see. I mean, unless you own an oil rig, I don't know why you'd bother these days. With all these options, look at this wonderful. It looks like the pound's going to crush down. That's why I like the idea of going long the euro, short the pound, because look at the pound could come flying back here at any moment. It's not synced up with the euro in any way, because this should be right at the top of the wicks here if this was correlated to the euro right now. So this, I'm looking for a smash down. Anyways, that's that. Let's take a look at this Oanda account. Okay, 3 minutes to the top of the hour. We should see some drama here. Look at this amazing sell bank I've got here as we go crushing north. I will become a seller in the euro into close. Oh, I got a winner here. Let me take it off. So let me clear that one off. I didn't see that. All right, great. So we cashed something. We were up on that. Now I want to put that Psycho buy limit in. The weeklies and this other one starts at 7K all week long. Yeah, did I put them in here yet? I think I did. Yeah, so you see the 8Ks. I was doing that so I could force the chart to be narrow so I didn't look back too far. So this is kind of a psychological trick is you drag this over so that you can only see so much data, because otherwise you're going to get confused. If you look at too much data, you'd be like, what the fuck's the trade again? See, the weekly, you're like, oh, dude, I'm not selling that. I'm not selling that. Keeps you out of trouble because, you know, if you look at the whole thing, you might think, oh, it's downtrending. Can't you see my 20 EMA? What are you talking about? Too much data. See, look, too much data. Oh, it's in a downtrend. Oh, yeah, this is the bottom that's supposed to become a top over here. Look at this thing, for God's sakes. And it did, actually. A little overshoot. Look how you tag this. This is Australia CAD. People really trade this stuff? Goes through the floor, comes back to the floor. So if you bought this whole thing, double bottom under the floor, come back, woof. Down again. People can't believe it. Pure structure. Enter here, down. Those days are over. I think we're going to come ripping back above the floor here now. Coming up here, I think. Coming after this. We could be done punishing the bulls. That's a lonely wick down there. That's a weekly. You got to learn how to buy down here, man. So I'm telling you, that is a trade. You don't see that very often. That must be hitting some historical price there. Yeah. That's why it's so vicious, okay? Now we're back to the floor on the monthly. People are like, why is that such a nasty move? Gee, you think this low matters? You think that low matters? These double wicks, then they rip it the other way. Holy shit. Now, you want to trade on that kind of thing? Break out the monthly chart. Put a sell limit here. Sell limit's all the way up to here. Market pops above that. Whoa. You still holding that trade right now? So we need to reject this floor. We need to creep above. 3 o'clock is here. It's 3:01. I'm up $6. Oh, sorry, I'm on this account. I thought the other account I should be up about $3. Wow, this I cannot imagine babysitting this Australia CAD. You turn your back on this currency pair, and your algo's getting you in on this on the daily. Let me take a look at that daily again. Daily algo disasters. Let's look at the daily algo. Oof. Kind of rangy. Very bombastic. I love it. I'm buying here. I'm buying here. I'm buying this whole hole. This whole thing I'm buying. Then we engulf, cash out. Buy it again. Rinse and repeat on this one over and over again. We're selling above here. Obviously, it's going up. I don't feel like getting on the train here, so let's sell that again. Just to make sure we lock it in before the markets close. So we come into Sunday night. I put up a lot of pairs here because people were talking about these pairs, and I was like, really? Wow. So some guy said he was short this thing, and I immediately bought. This was inside of the Discord channel. I faded this guy who was selling this short. Like, look at that thing trap right there. We need to put these in for the weekly open. So that's the dailies. That's not gonna work. There's big trades here. Buy limits again. I need to make different sizes on that. Okay, this is going to be the weekly again. Rinse and repeat here. The dollar yen. So nice 25 pip clean there. We could still keep tanking, you know, like this is the first breach into the window. That's a hole we knew that we could fall in, and it could have kept falling, you know, pick up speed. It could have got ugly. But we knew that the scalps were going to be off of these wicks. We always can see these wicks. Never made it to this one, but nice, clean 25 pip in one day. High probability trade here. Buying new lows here in a 50 pip window. Scalp out. You're buying more because of this, though. Right, so that matters. In a 25 pip window. And there you go. You know. It's pretty boring. Somebody else so somebody said about the New Zealand here, they were long, right? This is another no-nonsense, brilliant move. Somebody bought here. Last week, somebody said, oh, I went long. And I thought, oh, that's not bad. You know, you're up. But then you're coming into the seller's window once again. Once again, you're buying into the seller's window. And they're raping you. Once these guys learn to buy down in their uptrend, so they're, no nonsense does an entry where he goes long when the volume kicks up. At the end of the day, he goes in here. You got to get in here when you get your first pullback. These, you buy pullbacks. You buy. Don't buy these. You missed it. You buy here, right? Where are the stops? Here. People got stops in there. They're long. Trailing stop robots. Money management systems. No nonsense buys. He puts in a stop. He makes a couple bucks. You can't realize that. You can't see that, apparently. Retrade it, right? You'd be like, guys, step away from the indicators. Guys, step. Hey, it's going to be okay. But I need my 20 EMA. In a blankie. Hey, I'm short this. I'm getting out. Look at this. I don't want to be in this trade. It's going up. Okay. Here, I'm going to put in these cells again. Guaranteed to last all week. Hey, slightly different price. I think I put those in this morning, actually, so you got to keep rinsing and repeating here, rolling stuff over. So we're kind of trapped long here on the pound. And I think I'm going to let that go. That's a big fat weekly. I needed one that's going to buy super close to the market. And this is the only one I have. But it's going to be gone by the end of the day. And these are big tickets. I think they start off with a 6K on this. Trying to count up to 20K and max out at 20K, but then be aware of the fact that 20K needs to have a tighter stop. So we blow up the account. So swing with small tickets, scalp with the big tickets. Okay, this is going to be... I had this idea of going odd and even, so this is going to be 2, 4, 6. The other one could be 1, 3, 5. There's a million ways to do it. I suppose you have to be creative if you're in the United States. I guess they're forcing you to really think it over. Looks like we're going to get filled here. Dollar Swiss looks like it's going to fall through the floor, man. Look at that thing. Oh, my God. Right into the close. So we'll pick up these tickets. Here. So if we had enough money in the account we keep on double clicking that, right? As the market comes down there, we're looking for this thing where once they get below here, we expect it to come back to here, or we could have enough money to buy below here. In this window, expect it to come back to here. So it's already mapped. You're going to already see that where it's mapped out, where the crime's going to happen. It's a crime scene for anybody that's trying to buy into that. Okay, one last. Okay, we got like an hour before stocks close, so maybe one last blast here on the euro, curling up on the monthly into the close. So yeah, we might have put in the, and this is the end of the year's coming too. Are we ever going to see this price again? Not for a while. Not for a while, I don't think. Let's say goodbye to that price for a little bit. Maybe here. I'm a buyer here. Come off that line. There's one scenario. Or are you going to sell here so you can buy here? Are you going to buy here so you can sell to here, come back to here? That's a better way for me. I could see them come to this blue window, tag that, come back to the doji here, come back to this support. Or it's going to be a retest of this pivot. But I'll be happy to make this many pips back into this wick top. So if it comes into this 50 pip window, the scalp is going to be right to that top. I'm not going to get crazy and look at this and say, oh, well, it's going to do this. It's such a greedy scenario. More likely, once we get to here, up into here, people will sell and they'll play back to here for the easy money. Sure, we could dip back here, but the fact that we're going to come down here again? Yeah, I don't think so. And of course, this structurally, this top inside, so this is the top inside the bottom, this is the bottom, and this is the top inside. Sellers came in there, and it's a monster pivot's been achieved this year. And as they print more money than Jesus in this United States, than Jesus, we're talking like inflation's coming. I'm telling you, I can just tell. Although gas is so cheap, here you could die. $2.33 a gallon. I think somebody found a fracking well somewhere. Okay, so we're going to trade the drift up and get on all tickets on close here. So very wild. I'll even close out this little mini position here just to be a disciplined trader. But yeah, this is going to be hard to chase now. I'm thinking I'm always going to run the 50 pip deep. Rarely do we see 50 pips swings in this currency pair. And of course, if you're looking at the ATR indicator, I would run it on the weekly, setting at 1. Then it becomes a true range indicator instead of an average true range. What did the market do last month? Just look at the bar. Oh my God, the market's on fire. Okay, and then I would just say, look at the structure and think about where you want to get in, where you want to get out. You know, these hourly charts have more opportunities, but then of course they're smaller take profits because you're on a stairway instead of a larger swing, larger range. There's a trend on the way to the edge of the range. There's a trend on the way to the edge. We call it a trend when it smashes down. But if you saw the tick chart at 111.45 this morning, I watched the tick chart as we took out this low from the hourly wicks. And the tick chart, it just fell through the floor. And from a couple milliseconds there, the spread went kind of super tight, super wide, and it left a really beat up looking tick chart. So I'm staring at this one broker has a really tight spread. And you get a different indication about the market because you're watching the spread fluctuate. The way it behaves, you know, and it's very frantic at that price, very frantic, and it actually goes 3 pips below for just a blink of an eye, clears out 3 pips and reverses. And that's literally where it turned around. And of course, then there's the pullbacks inside of that. Then it comes screaming up. Then it pauses. Then people are like, I think it's going to get cheaper. People are like, oh yeah, I think it's going back up. So I'm watching that on the 15. I'm watching it on the that 4 hour, so I can tell where we're at in the big picture. And then I'm watching it on the half hour or 1 hour. Of course, the in Asia has a breakout move, and then I go flat. So I'm going to take that scalp, and then I put the limits in, because we're rarely going to, unless the market is really on a rant, it's probably going to pull back. I mean, if it's screaming up and it literally just kind of comes into the next session, it's just like, no, sellers, and it just keeps storming north, and you are taking out monthly and yearly highs, yeah, then that's a different story. Just trying to make 20 to 40 pips. So I trade about two or three standard lots. That's 300 tickets. Here I was in about 700K for the burst up today. I made $1,500 on the retracement on the euro on this demo. So now I'm about $3 into the close. Looking for some kind of rally here. I'm stretching this out because I'm going to go to the 1 hour chart here. So it's a new month. We got a new bar. We just started today. We're hunting down those monthly wicks now. It's the 1 hour chart. And this is that big kahuna trend line from the other time frame. Quite a bombastic spike up into that thing. But yeah, we did take out this high back here from a few days ago. That was probably the biggest selling opportunity for this nice pullback. And then one more bonus. A new low entry. Just dying to take out this all day long. Of course, the problem was once we got above here, there was too many sellers. We had to take it back some. Just like this one, when you filled this, so this is the scalp last night. I get out here, I go flat right here. What this is all I was trying to make. This is $200. I made $300, and then I get up, go flat. Coming this morning, it looked like we were gonna break out. I'm like, no, this is too early. This is about 3 in the morning. The problem is United States markets have to open, so it has to be bid down. There's just a rollover there, See the big sell-off when Europe opens here. So people are holding shorts from here, and then they're cashing out. They don't actually come back to this high. But this is pretty good money considering you sold up here. And then, of course, about here, and here is where the buyers are coming in pretty heavy. And just to get out here in the middle, fair value is a great trade. And, of course, you could just keep buying limits. You just changed your depth here. Initially, you get in. You gotta scalp something to here. It's not many pips there, about 8 pips. $80 maybe. Then buy more, buy tons. Go out, come back. 2 hours down, kind of buying here into the close. You got an hour and a half of trading left. I just love to see this thing pop through on close here. Finish out the week at a climax move there. Go flat, be up. Come in next week with a pile of money. We don't have to work that hard anymore. Right, so we got this thing off the ground. Come back and just trade you know, 3 standard lots, 20 pips deep, you know, instead of 50K in a 50 pip range. Instead of a 1K on every handle. Every 1 pip handle you have a 1K, that's 50K and 50 pips, right? Now you can do every half pip you're going to have a 1K in there. It's 100K in a 50 pip window. That's pretty light. If you only fill 49K, and when it's down there, you're like, you know what? This is behaving just perfectly for me to get in some more of this. And so this morning when I saw them, you know, I saw the smash down, I go, oh, that's just totally fake. You know, it's just the news, you know. That's just a great buying opportunity. The news comes out. I got my finger ready. I'm just frantically throwing in limits. I'm like, yeah, we're going down about 20 pips now. So click, 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 click. Just a lot of clicking. And then there you go. You're in it, you know. And then you see, oh, it's paused down there. And then you see that we're stuck under here. And this is when, if you are in front of your terminal, you click as hard as you can here. You're good. It just closed down here at the end of the hour. Click, 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 click. Then we come to here. Then ISM's coming out. Then boom. So no, it's 8:30. You can't see it in here, but there's a pause here. I'll show you. You got to go to a different time frame to see the story when the news hit the market. No surprise, really, I suppose. So half hour, right? Here is just before the non-farm payroll. So you could have had a sell stop and a buy stop here. We rally here, waiting for the news. As the news is about to come out, we start to sell off. The news comes out, blam. So I buy here because of this low. And I buy just tons here. And then on the 15, you could see it come to here and stall out. And at that point, I knew, holy shit, there's no sellers coming in here. We're not going to go like this. And because we've gotten all that order, picked up all these tickets down here. Oh, shit. Please hold. So we took out all these tickets. Screensavers are overrated. And so then, where was I? So yeah, now here comes ISM. Manufacturing, you know, and it was kind of, it's called red report on the thing, you know, and you're like right here, you know, this is, just banging at the door and then crushes as soon as that news comes out. All right, so this is 8:30, half hour sell off. Now it's 9:30. Now it's 10 o'clock. ISM's coming out. I'm so long this thing here. I bought, when we paused here on the 15, I just bought so much. You have no idea. Frantically clicking. I'm running 18 pip stops here because I'm expecting another plunge. I still have limits waiting to get filled down here. The whole time that's plunging, I'm putting in 400K of limits that last for 8 hours. Because I refuse to babysit this goddamn thing. Refuse to. Rips to here. We cash out on this account. Then we buy this pullback. Limits only. I could have bought at the market. I'm testing this new script here. So if we take out this high, which would be the high of the week, the high of the month, the high of the year. High of the year? Maybe not the high of the year. Wait a second. Let me take a look at that again. So I don't really pay too much attention to that. No. High of the year is way back here, so we're miles from the high of the year. The high of the week. So we did take out that one, and the high of last week is what I'm talking about. So in the 4 hour, you can see it very clearly here. And we could pop above this into the close. On the other account, I'm a seller up into that on the O-end account, so that's what we're looking at. Gold looks ready for a serious rally. That's the weekly gold channel. Dollar Swiss itching to crush through the floor here. Look at that thing. Oh, brutal. That's going to be nasty. I think she rolled over hard, did it? I think took it on the chin. That's that simple. We're just going to stay in this pound. I like it. Looks like it's going up with the euro now. Even though it's not in the same place structurally, it's lagging the euro. The euro's leading the euro. I mean, the euro's leading the pound, you could say. It's working out here. This is finally coming back to life. Got a 6K here, so we're in pretty big on the pound. I don't know, this CAD yen. I just don't like these things. I don't even want to know about this shit. So I'm going full pound. Yeah, I don't know. Keep that 1 yen. Okay, so we freed up some margin. All right, so we're going to sit tight on that. $480, $485. Not really trading this hard though, but I want to write some scripts this weekend that are going to be laid in. We'll put some thought into dropping the scripts, but I want double clicks so it'll run on a laptop. With not too much instruction, I think people could handle. You don't need a moving average. You don't need a Fibonacci. You're just going to look at the chart and you're going to say, are we going down? Or are we just going down? Put buy limits in. Trying to catch a falling knife. That's it. You know, I mean, you could put sell limits into it. We could have sold into this all week, all month on the 25s. We could have had a big trap up here, and then when it came back, we're cashing out, right? We don't have to care about, oh, is it, you know, we don't have to trend trade it, as I'm saying. We don't have to trade at the market like buy, top becomes a bottom, buy, up, buy, up, buy. No, I'm just going to canvas this with limits and see what happens. So that's going to be my test. Test account here for this, you know, how to get around the Dodd-Frank. I don't know what's worse, somebody trying to impeach Trump or the Frank Dodd torn. Between the brutality, look at this thing, we're ready to go to hell here. Let's look at the 1 hour chart. Oh boy, we're stepping through the floor here, aren't we? This goes down, euro goes up, right? Let's see if that's what happens. Let's see. Let's just wait and see.